The energy in the studio was electric. The morning Arnold Schwarzenegger walked onto the set of The View, wearing his trademark confident smile, a tailored blazer, and his signature no-nonsense presence, the former governor and action star was welcomed with loud applause. The audience, many of them longtime fans, rose to their feet. Everyone expected an engaging but light-hearted conversation. No one anticipated the confrontation that would soon follow. Joy Behar opened with a smile, cracking a joke about Arnold's accent and how he'd gone from pumping iron to passing legislation. He laughed in return, his charisma filling the space. At first, the conversation revolved around his new memoir, a deeply personal book where Arnold reflects on his life from bodybuilding, Hollywood, politics, to family and scandal. He spoke about redemption, growth, and legacy. The panel listened intently. Sonny Hostin asked thoughtful questions about his political views and how they'd evolved. Sarah N. inquired about fatherhood and how it changed him. Arnold answered candidly, offering humility in some moments and unapologetic confidence in others. Then Joy decided to push deeper. "You've done a lot," she began. "Movies, politics, scandals, comebacks. But let's talk about the responsibility that comes with being a public figure, especially when your past includes things that hurt people." Arnold didn't flinch. "I've talked about those things. I've admitted my mistakes. I've made amends. That's part of life growing, owning your actions, and moving forward." Joy wasn't satisfied. "But don't you think the public deserves more than just a chapter in a book? There are still people who feel you got a pass because you're famous, because you're a man, because you're powerful." Arnold's demeanor shifted. He still smiled, but his eyes narrowed slightly. "You can keep looking back forever, or you can focus on what people are doing today. I'm using my platform now to help others. I'm not hiding." Joy pressed further. "But doesn't real accountability mean opening yourself up to criticism, Evan? If it's uncomfortable, isn't it a little too convenient to say I've moved on when some people haven't?" Arnold sat back in his chair, folding his hands. "You think you're the first person to bring this up? You think I haven't faced it? I've dealt with the courts, the media, my family, and now, after everything, I still show up. I still work. I still give back. That's accountability." The audience was quiet. You could hear a pin drop. Joy leaned in. "But showing up doesn't mean you get to silence people who are still hurting." Arnold raised an eyebrow. "And asking questions doesn't mean you're always right." It was clear neither was going to back down. The other hosts looked increasingly uncomfortable. Whoopi Goldberg stepped in, her voice measured. "Let's try to keep this a conversation, not a courtroom. We're here to talk about the book and the journey." Arnold nodded at her. "Exactly. That's why I came here. Not to be put on trial again." Joy didn't blink. "But if you don't want to be questioned, why write a book? Why come on this show? The moment you put your story out there, you open yourself to challenge." Arnold looked directly at her. "Because people can learn from mistakes, from success and failure. But if the only thing you want to focus on is the past, you miss the lesson." Joy fired back. "Some people don't get to move on so easily, especially women. Especially when power protects the wrong people." Arnold's smile disappeared completely. "I've never claimed to be perfect. But I've faced more scrutiny than most people ever will. I didn't run from it. I didn't hide. I dealt with it, in public and in private." Joy wasn't done. "And yet here you are, rewriting your story with all the polish of a Hollywood production." Arnold stood up. He didn't raise his voice, but the authority in his tone was unmistakable. "I came here out of respect for the show, the audience, and the people who still believe in growth, but I won't sit here and be accused of rewriting anything. I lived it, I faced it, and now I'm moving forward." Joy looked up at him, unbothered. "Then maybe this isn't the table for you." Arnold looked to the producers off camera. "Maybe not." With that, he turned and calmly walked off the set. The audience was stunned. Some applauded. Others murmured in disbelief. The camera remained on the panel for a few awkward seconds before cutting to commercial. When the show returned, Whoopi took the reins, saying only, "Sometimes conversations take a turn." We'll continue with our next segment. The incident became national news within the hour. Social media exploded. Clips of the exchange spread across platforms. Fans and critics took sides. Some supported Arnold, calling him composed and justified. Others backed Joy, praising her for holding a powerful man accountable. By evening, nearly every major media outlet was running with the story. Pundits debated whether Joy went too far or whether Arnold couldn't handle real questions. Late-night hosts joked about the unexpected clash. And YouTube commentators uploaded analysis videos, dissecting every word and expression. The View issued a short statement. The View is a platform for honest and unfiltered conversation. Sometimes that conversation gets heated. We respect all our guests and thank Mr. Schwarzenegger for joining us. Arnold's team released a brief comment. Mr. Schwarzenegger stands by his appearance and his statements. He remains committed to transparency, progress, and speaking honestly about both success and failure. The next morning, Joy addressed the controversy on air. I've been doing this for a long time, she said. And I ask tough questions because the audience deserves it. Some people appreciate that. Some don't. But that's the nature of this job. Whoopi added, it's never our goal to make a guest feel ambushed. But it's also not our job to shy away from real conversations. In the days that followed, the story took on a life of its own. It became more than a clash between two famous people. It turned into a discussion about forgiveness, fame, gender dynamics, and the limits of public rehabilitation. Some viewed Arnold's walkout as a power mover, way of refusing to engage with the narrative he found unfair. Others saw it as an unwillingness to face hard truths. Meanwhile, Joy's role was scrutinized just as intensely. Was she holding someone accountable, or pushing too hard for a headline moment? Opinion pieces flooded in. One writer in the New York Times praised the confrontation as a necessary disruption of celebrity narratives, while another in the Wall Street Journal called it a reminder that public forums are not therapy sessions. Public support for Arnold remained strong. His new book climbed the bestseller list, bolstered no doubt by the attention. But the encounter marked a turning point. It reminded everyone that even the most seasoned public figures can find themselves on unstable ground when the conversation turns personal. In private industry circles, producers and PR teams reportedly began rethinking talk show appearances for high-profile celebrities, especially those with complicated pasts. The View, meanwhile, saw a temporary ratings spike, drawing curious viewers eager to see what would happen next. Arnold didn't return to comment further, choosing instead to continue his book tour in other cities. During a later appearance at a book signing in Los Angeles, a fan asked him about the incident. He simply replied, "Sometimes people aren't ready to hear what you've learned. That doesn't mean you stop learning." The audience clapped. For Joy, the moment became yet another controversial notch in a long career of unfiltered commentary. She remained unshaken, continuing to speak her mind, regardless of the reaction. For The View, the episode became one of the most talked about moments of the year. In the end, the confrontation was more than just entertainment. It forced viewers to think about the nature of public accountability, about how we process redemption, about whether people with power are ever truly accountable or always just managing the fallout. It was messy, it was uncomfortable, and it was real. That's what made it unforgettable.